Alright, so for the people who have been keeping up with this drama, and for the people who care about this, it looks like we have an update to a situation that we covered around 2 weeks ago. If you guys do remember, I did cover the Illymation Think Before You Sleep drama. Now for the people who are not aware of what happened there, or who these people are, and why there's drama, well here's why. So essentially this big creator, this big storytime animation channel, who goes by the name of Illymation, made a video. This video is called Perks of Being the Fat Kid, and essentially in this video, Illymation, or Alyssa, which Alyssa is her real name, goes on to talk about her experience being bullied because of her shape and size in school, and other things regarding that, including her difficulty at the time of finding clothes that fit, and the pressure to conform to societal beauty standards. And she also talks about her dieting experience, despite not talking to any healthcare professionals, and that's where Think Before You Sleep comes in, because apparently he came across this video one day, took a look at it, didn't agree with everything that was in it, and he decided to make a video criticizing her video. Now let me just remind everybody here for a second, before people start coming in here and being like, well, he didn't have to make this video, he didn't have to criticize her, he didn't have to go back and attack her or whatnot, because I've gotten those comments on my last video saying things like that. And it's like, if he sees something that he doesn't agree with and wants to criticize it, he can do that. Like, he has a right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. YouTube is a company that is located in the United States. We have freedom of speech and expression laws here, protected by our Constitution, and this is totally legal and it's totally fine. And this is not harassment, it's not bullying or anything like that. And personally, if you ask me, I don't think TBYS is in the wrong at all here, really. Now, I know how people feel about his channel, and I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan, but in this situation, with this drama, I believe that he is in the right. Now, before I get too ahead of myself here, let's continue with what happened. So Think Before You Sleep, or TBYS, made this video criticizing Illymation's video. He had some pretty good criticisms in his video. If you guys want to go check it out for yourselves, it is available still on YouTube. It hasn't been taken down despite what recently has happened, but a few weeks later, TBYS put out this video called Woke YouTubers Trying to Deplatform Me. And yeah, that's essentially what was going down, because apparently behind the scenes with Illymation, after she saw this video that was made on her video criticizing her, she saw this and decided the best course of action would be to go to Tumblr, one of her smaller platforms, and tell her fans to mass report the video, trying to get it taken down, while at the same time telling people to not send hate to him, as it will only make things worse, and that she just wants this whole situation to be over with. Like, tell me you're brain dead without telling me you're brain dead. Like, what is this logic? I mean, sending people over to report his video, trying to get his videos taken down or his channel taken down, that's literally sending hate. Now, this gets even better, by the way, because the funny part about this and her wanting to report the video to get it taken down because she saw it, or at least that's what you would think, you would think that she would watch a video that is on her and her video before she decides whether or not it's a good or bad video, or whether she likes it or she doesn't like it. But in this case, for whatever reason, she didn't even watch the video, and she even said this herself, as you can see right here up on the screen. But rather, instead of watching the video herself, a friend of hers told her what the video was about and how it went, and that essentially the video was terrible. Now, the problem with this, and hearing what a friend has to say about this video and their interpretation of it, is that when you're hearing something orally or verbally from somebody else, like say a story, and once again their interpretation of it, there isn't always a guarantee that that story is going to stay the same. Like, there are very high chances of that story being manipulated and twisted, and sometimes it's done in a malicious way and sometimes it's not. In this case, I really don't know, but I can tell you right now, from what the friend told Illymation, this friend blew this shit out of proportion. Like, the amount of sensationalism in this is insane. But anyways, keep that in mind, because Illymation took one look at this and decided, hey, I'm only gonna take this person and what they said about how the video goes, and I'm not gonna watch the video for myself. And with all that being said, I'm going to tell my audience to go over and mass flag this guy's YouTube video and his channel when I haven't even watched the video for myself. And that's essentially the big problem in this whole drama, and that's why there is drama. And even if she did happen to watch the video for herself and just didn't like it, and then was telling people to go over and mass flag and try to take down his videos, it still would have triggered the drama, and it definitely wouldn't have been okay, just as much as it isn't right now. But anyways, the reason why I'm making this update video, and the reason why the drama has gotten worse, is not because of anything Illymation has been doing recently or her responding. She never did. Well, it's because apparently the friend that told her what the video was about, saying false things and trying to make it seem like the video was a really terrible video, has decided to go to Twitter and cry like a fucking baby. And this is the most funniest shit ever. So I wasn't going to make a stink about this in order to not draw more attention to it than necessary would allow me to fill you all in on something that has angered me lately. Red mad face emojis. Like, honestly, in my opinion, if you want to know how I feel about this, it's literally just like, cry more. Just cry. Like, it's sad, and these are full-grown adults, by the way. Anyways, how I know about this is because recently Think Before You Sleep has made another video on the situation called The Illymation Drama Continues, and this whole video is about Illymation's friend. Like, it's actually insane. It's hilarious to me. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I just find it real funny that this friend is just so pissed off, because it's just like, this wouldn't have been a huge issue if she decided to be mature about the situation and didn't tell her audience, even if it was as small as what her Tumblr is, to go and mass flag this guy for making a criticism video that, mind you, wasn't all bad. Like, this guy was more than fair to you, and in return, you didn't even watch his video. Like, I can tell you right now, if it was me, I wouldn't have been as fair and charitable to you, especially after trying to get my whole channel taken down. But anyways, let's get into that video. Let's stop stalling it.
Not 2 days after I released the video about her trying to deplatform me, one of her friends is having a meltdown on Twitter. But this isn't just any friend, this is the friend. But before we get started, a little recap. About a month ago, I released a video on the animation storytime YouTuber Illymation that criticized her video called Perks of Being the Fat Kid. Alyssa from Illymation did not take that criticism well and responded by committing libel when she said to her fans on Tumblr that I organized a targeted harassment campaign against her because I made a video saying, "Hey, I don't like this thing. This thing you did here is bad." That's not harassment, Alyssa. That's called criticism. Plot twist, the actual harasser was Alyssa, as she called upon her followers to mass flag a video that she didn't even watch.
Okay, yeah, here's another thing I wanted to touch a little bit more on, is that when you're making a video on somebody criticizing them, and you're actually being fair to them while trying to point out what you don't like about them and how they do, their content, when this video goes on YouTube, people are going to see it, of course. A lot of people are going to see it in this case when you have a channel as big as, say, me or Think Before You Sleep, and the goal of the video was not to send a targeted hate campaign towards your channel. Like, I know when I make videos on people, that's not the goal. Like, I don't want my fans or the people who view my videos to go over and to harass somebody because I criticize them and I have a problem with them. Like, even when I make videos on people I genuinely do not like Jack Doherty or Mob, I don't want my audience to go over to where they are to harass them. And the goal of the video is not to make a hate campaign against their channel or them. Like, that's not my goal, and I don't think that's Think Before You Sleep's goal either. Like, the whole point of the video, and people fail to understand this a lot of the time, is to criticize somebody or their ideas because you don't necessarily agree with that. Like, that's the goal.
It says, so I wasn't going to make a stink about this in order to not draw more attention to it than necessary, but allow me to fill you all in on something that has angered me lately. Mad face, mad face, mad face, lots of thread. This is going to be a long post. Well, if you didn't want to draw my attention towards this, then why did you tag me in your post? Strange behavior. It's almost like you wanted my audience and I to see this. The next comment says, recently, a right-wing debate lord-style YouTube channel made a response piece to this Illymation video, basically just being very misogynistic and fatphobic during the entirety of which. And as you all know, I have an exercise science degree, so I was asked for my 2 cents. Well, with an introduction like that, I can definitely tell that this is the friend from Alyssa's Tumblr post. That being said, do these people not see the irony of calling themselves the victims, followed by introducing their opponents with some of the most harsh language possible? Just like I said in the last video, before any of my material has been discussed, the audience has been told that I'm right-wing, I've been associated negatively with dishonest debate lords who will use any tactic to win an argument, and I've been called a fatphobic misogynist that you need to be angry about. So emotionally, when he says I'm right-wing, they know I'm an outsider who does not belong to their group. I've been accused of intentionally causing harm through my ideas with the use of the terms debate lord, fatphobic, and misogynist, and the audience has been told how they should feel about me. Again, all before they've been exposed to anything that I've said. Meanwhile, I introduced Alyssa in the most neutral fashion possible by calling her an animation storytime YouTuber in the first video, and gave her a chance to speak before I gave my opinion on her ideas. How exactly am I the bigot when I gave my audience a chance to form their own ideas about Alyssa before I voiced mine? Yet you started your comment out with, hate this person you don't know.
Yeah, and that's another reason why you should watch the video and you shouldn't go off of what, oh, my friend told me. But yeah, anyways, besides Illymation, I mean, just seeing this right here, it definitely does show that this Dylan guy, the friend, is acting in bad faith. I love how they point out all the bad parts and like blow things totally out of proportion and say things that aren't even true to get people to immediately just believe that this guy is like the worst person ever, and him making this video, like this video is terrible even before you've seen the video. Like that's how some of these people operate, when that wasn't necessarily what happened or how this guy was. Like these people are losers, man.
I haven't seen an introduction this biased towards making you dislike someone that you've never seen before since I watched David Pakman introduce one of his political opponents to Dr. K.
So basically, I talked to all sorts of people on my show. I found Jimmy to be an interesting character, a sad character in many ways, though Jimmy does regularly say, you know, homophobic things, transphobic things, racist things. Jimmy has talked to me about his problems with alcohol, and you guys can probably see he's got some bottles there over his right shoulder. Jimmy has talked about how he has a daughter, but at least at one point wasn't allowed to see her because of some physical violence. Jimmy was also arrested not long ago because of, as I understand it, chasing a car with 4 black teenagers down the street while intoxicated. And that's kind of the Jimmy that I know big picture.
Quite the introduction.
A few minutes later, Dr. K was like, "Holy crap, man, that was a messed up intro."
I was frankly kind of shocked. I mean, David, is it okay if I be critical of you for a second?
Please, I would love it.
So like here he is introducing you, and like he starts off with like bottles in the back and like got arrested for this, and like, you know, it's kind of a weird way.
David's a real charmer.
Yeah, I mean, how does that feel to be? I mean, like, because it's almost like he's sharing like the most negative or provocative things about you.
Well, David's a propagandist. What can I tell you? I mean, he's good at it, you know.
I don't know much about David Pakman, but in this case, someone who treats an opponent like that is not acting in good faith.
Like, is literally just trying to assassinate somebody's character in front of a whole lot of people who don't necessarily know who this person is to get an easy one-up over somebody.
Next, he says, "Now let me lead by saying that I don't really know either of these people. I never heard of right-wing grifter guy at all, and Illy is sort of a friend where we have interacted very little in the past. These people have no self-awareness, do they? This whole statement is basically him trying to argue that he's not biased because he doesn't really know either of us. He's trying to frame his opinion as the fair opinion. Meanwhile, he's added yet another insult to the list of reasons why you should hate me before even knowing who I am, while he continues to describe Alyssa neutrally. And then he says they aren't friends when she called him a friend and was willing to risk her public reputation and technically a potential lawsuit on his opinion. It sounds like you might know each other a little better than you know me, a person that you've never spoken to. Hey Dylan, do you know what a great way to not draw attention to this would be? Publicly stating on Twitter, hey everyone, I just want to make sure that you know it was me who wrote this. I want the credit for it." Okay, so we have 3 posts of him saying, "Oh my god, Senpai noticed me," and after 8 posts of him telling his potential audience to hate me, Dylan finally allows people to see my actual arguments. Well, not really. In the second video here, Buddy claims to have a 4-year degree in kinesiology, basically the same degree I have, which I find wild, because initially he claimed very basic things like working out while on a restrictive diet isn't the cause of your dizziness while exercising. Okay, so thanks for essentially confirming that she was suggesting that eating too little was causing the random dizziness that she was experiencing. Though it's weird that he frames it like this because I did suggest that eating too little can cause that problem. These people must have selective hearing issues. However, as you highlighted here, that's probably not the case because if she was doing a large enough calorie restriction to get dizziness during exercise, then she would have been losing weight. And I mean, you really have to calorie restrict to experience what she was experiencing. So I gave some suggestions of what might cause that, such as nasal allergies, and what a shock, here she is saying that she has nasal allergies. How did I know? Like I said, see an ear, nose, and throat doctor. You know, if she just told her incredibly biased friend to shut up and actually watched my video, she might have learned something. This guy is super dishonest, and something I didn't notice before I edited this second video is this here. He says I called Alyssa an ugly piece of shit. I never said that. And what the hell? What kind of friend is this? You're like taking a person who you already claimed is insecure and trying to make her feel worse by wildly misrepresenting what I said. Did you say that because you wanted to call Alyssa ugly? Because I didn't call her ugly. I started off by complimenting her natural features, and then I said she would look way better if she learned color theory and picked a dress that suited her personality. After which, I gave her resources in case she wanted to learn more about what would look better. But saying someone's makeup is bad is not the same as saying someone is ugly.
Yeah, I will have to agree with what TBYS is saying here. Very dishonest guy. I also find it really weird that he's bragging about being in TBYS's video, and my thoughts on the situation still have not really changed. I think the situation is really pathetic and something that could have been easily avoided, because instead of watching the video for yourself, you decide to get the information about the video that you should have watched from a friend who decided to twist the information to make it seem like TBYS was more harsh than he actually was, and try to make him out as like this bad guy or something, like as if he's the Joker. Like, man, I really cannot stand the internet. Now, anyways, moving on, I really don't want to watch this whole thing on my video because there's around another 10 minutes left of this, and I think you guys get the point of what is going on here. Really irrationally thinking bad faith people going up against this guy, and I mean, you guys have seen it because we just went over it, but yeah, no, besides this situation, something else that has happened to Illymation because of this, and not a lot of people are talking about this, is Illymation was actually doxxed. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, hey, that's a good thing. That's awesome. Woo, we're winning. No, it's not. And nobody's winning, by the way. I just, no, doxing, when it comes down to doxing is a really terrible thing if you guys are not aware. In my experience, a lot of normal people who I've talked to about doxing and situations regarding it, people who don't have like a huge internet following, don't really see doxing as like a big issue. And I can see why they think that, but when you have a big following online, like say Illymation has like millions of followers and subscribers on social platforms like YouTube and whatnot, like it can be very dangerous because out of these millions of people, you're going to have people who do not like you and want to make your life a living hell. So as much as I disagree with Illymation and the video that she made, and also her decision on telling her fans to mass report this guy's channel, it was very unfortunate to see that she got doxxed because of this situation. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me on that, but doxing, especially when you're a really big creator like Illymation, is a really big problem, and it can jeopardize your safety and privacy, because if people know where you live, they can come and find you, which is of course not good at all. And once again, it's really unfortunate that she was doxxed, and I really wouldn't say doing what she did justifies her being doxxed. I know that might be a hot take, but that's just how I feel about it, being a creator myself. Now anyways, I guess with that all being said, I'm going to be wrapping up the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you wanted to check out TBYS's full videos on the situation, they are available on his channel, and his most recent video is the one that we just partially took a look at in my video just a few minutes ago. So if you're interested more in the situation, make sure you go check out those videos, as I just wanted to do a little bit of an update to the situation, and I didn't want to make it too long. If you happen to enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps promote the video more in the algorithm so more people will see it. Thank you guys so much for being a member to the channel. Your support really means the world to me, and I really do appreciate it. My name is Breone, and I will see you in my next video. Peace!